Hey there everyone, Lord Frigid here with another episode of Aether Raid's Offense. Before I begin, I want to take a moment to congratulate you all on surviving another round of bonus unit this year, for she is truly a terror. Anyway, this video marks the end of another Astra season, and surprisingly, I actually had a pretty good experience this time around. I had an annoyingly preventable loss early on, where I misread enemy movement, but other than that, it was reasonably smooth sailing. I did manage to pick up a plus res minus def pirate Tibarn in the final days of his focus. It's not plus attack, but it's at least better than plus speed minus attack. He definitely came in handy this season. Anyway, that's enough chit-chat out of me. Let's go ahead and get into today's battles. Today's first map is actually from a rematch. The team I got attacked by was quite stacked, so I figured they might have a cool map of their own to tackle, and it's not bad, despite being a dark defense map. I would say it's about as open of a prism setup as it possibly could be, while still being a prison setup. There's a rally trap element with Ophelia's rally up attack. I think it's safe to guess that the slot order is designed so that Sothis is prioritized as the rally target to get maximum extension on Ophelia's range. Prison setups are usually pretty exploitable, and this one is no different. The two most significant weaknesses are this defense tile here and the Aether Fountain. I think it's important to note that a red with actual defensive stats, including good res, can sit on the defense tile until the end of time. The only real check is Ophelia, and with enough visible res and the defense tile, her AoE special is a non-issue. In fact, if I were to run into this team during light season where it's more powerful, my go-to strategy would absolutely be to just drop Final Boss of Dune right there. With the Aether Fountain, you can break it and place a 2-range tank below the unbreakable wall, and Claude will be forced to attack on the enemy phase. Because Ophelia will rally first from her starting location, then receive Azura's Refresh, your unit won't need to fight anyone else on that turn. Then, because there's only one way out of the prison of structures, the remaining enemies will funnel down towards the opening in column 4, and leave poor Azura in the dust, which will allow you to pick them off with relatively low risk. I'm going to go ahead and send in the Cedar raiding party for this battle. I will actually be kicking things off on turn 1 by having Claude break the Aether Fountain. After that, he will take on the enemy Claude on the enemy phase. Interestingly enough, the enemy's Claude has a speed asset and 9 more merges than mine. However, mine has the advantage of 2 goad stacks, so he will be able to 1-round KO the enemy Claude just fine. And in fact, what happens first is that Ophelia uses her rally up attack from her existing location. Claude does not have guidance, and then young Azura will be forced to refresh her also from her current location, which means that after Claude attacks, not only do I not have to worry about other enemies attacking me, the other enemies will actually all advance kind of down towards that narrow opening on column 4, and now none of them are in range of young Azura, so they won't be able to benefit from her refresh power for the entire rest of this map. Let me go ahead and take out Eliwood with Micaiah here. That effective damage strike is exactly why I had her in range to deal with him as he moved down. It was very guaranteed that he was going to be in that location after all was said and done. I'm actually a little surprised that he didn't move first. Edelgard did. So, what do I need to do? I think I do definitely need to get Micaiah out of here. As it stands, she's in range of both Sothis and Ophelia. Not really my cup of tea. Let me go ahead and flip her out with Sita. But after that, Edelgard moved first last time, so I'm thinking she moves first again. But just in case she doesn't, let me actually take a bit of thinking time to see if Sita can deal with Edelgard warping to Sothis. Alright, so I ran the numbers, and it turns out Sita is actually able to take on this Edelgard just fine. Edelgard actually does deal enough damage across 2 hits to KO, but Sita gets the first attack with Feather Sword, so no big deal. Alright, and Edelgard moved first, so it wasn't even an issue. Ophelia, oh, interesting. Young Azura chose to move straight down the right side. I'm seeing, okay, let me take this. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Sita does enough damage to Edelgard on the first attack that it doesn't matter that she mitigates 80% of the second hit because she dies anyway. Which leaves me perfectly able to reposition Sita out of the way, get her out of range of Sothis. Then I'm going to go ahead and move Claude into the range of young Azura, and then I will smite Micaiah over with Naga to allow Claude to get the bonuses from Wind Parthia. So I am expecting, since Sothis is in range of Claude, I'm expecting the rally to hit to come out from Ophelia onto Sothis, and then after that, interesting. Azura attacked. I mean, I guess I kind of see why, since Sothis can't actually attack anything, so I'm guessing that's why The rally wasn't prioritized. Oh, yeah, here it comes. So yeah, it must have been something like that. Some interaction that I'm just not really familiar with. Oh well. Okay, regardless, Ophelia, okay, looks like I can take out Sothis between Claude and Micaiah. Interesting how Sothis actually managed to avoid getting doubled by Claude with his Goad Stack, Wind Parthia, Attack, Speed, Rain, and bonus unit stats. That's actually kind of nuts. I guess that's the power of double solo. Interesting. So Sothis heals up quite nicely, but it's nothing Micaiah can't handle. As I recall, she did something in the 30s. Yeah, 34 damage is perfectly fine to deal with her. And then I kind of want to try going up the left-hand side to try and pick off that Aether Amphore. Well, but at the same time, I don't really want to influence Ophelia's movement, and this is my last battle, so yeah, let's just go ahead and let her advance, and then I'll have Sita finish the job. Map number 2 is a restore trap setup featuring Brave Camilla along with 3 refreshers to maximize the chance that she actually attacks. If I had to guess, I would say that Thrasir is probably first priority, followed by Crom, which would guarantee that Camilla becomes aggressive if anything is left in her extended threat range here. Of course, that's all conjecture, but it's honestly the most threatening thing I see. There are a couple structural weaknesses you can take advantage of if you either don't apply long-range penalties, or can get set up quickly enough to get moving before the restoring starts. Notice that Azura and Mirabilis are both quite exposed. You can get the enemies moving by picking one or both of them off and then retreating. I would go for Azura myself. This is because everyone except Thrasir has an assist, so if you can get Thrasir to move straight down, Mirabilis actually moves next, and thus won't be able to provide a refresh. Another thing you can do is break the healing tower, which extends Azura's range and allows you to bait her out. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and send in the Dragon Wagon team for this battle. I'm going to be kicking things off on turn 2 with a bit of a 2-pronged assault. I'm going to have Claude take out Azura over on the left, and then I'm going to drop Sothis into Crom's range on the right. So let me go ahead and kick things off here. I will need to smite Claude straight up 2 spaces, moving over 1 to get into position for the attack. Just wanted to make sure that Altina is in range of Idune's duo skill. That's going to be necessary because Altina is actually going to be taking a lot of the follow-up from the enemies, notably Thrasir and Camilla. So let me go ahead and activate that right now. And then, once that is taken care of, I can just drop Sothis right in Crom's range. She'll be able to take him out with a serious activation, and then Claude can take down Azura with a single shot due to effective damage. And then I will have Naga smite Altina up. Okay, that trap was fake, kind of annoying, but oh well. So, Thrasir is going to be able to activate her Moonbow here, but even after that, 2 hits from Camilla won't be able to finish Altina off, since she is now in Brazen Attack res range. Of course, Twin Blades will be able to take Thrasir down. Penalties happened. Oh, shoot. Even provides penalties. I was very fortunate that Mirabilis did not have flyer formation. That could have thrown a real wrench in the plans there, with Camilla getting a +5 buff and Altina taking -3 to res, since she would probably be within 3 columns. Actually, maybe not. Mirabilis might have gone above if she did have flyer formation. Even just the buff would have caused Altina to die. So thank goodness she does not have flyer formation. So I think I'll have Claude go ahead and take out Camilla here. He's going to be in range of the Bolt Tower, but that should be okay. And then I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do with the Aether structures. This is really where it would have been nice if the trap below the healing tower was the fake one, or the real one rather. Okay, whatever. So let's see how the enemies choose to move. That's a lot of damage out of that Bolt Tower. You know, I really technically only need to grab one of these. This is the second to last match for me, and I have enough Aether structures already. So let me take down Mirabilis and then see what I like here. She does have no matter who she attacks, she's going to die from the counter. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and take out this Aether Amphora with Sothis, and then I'll call that good. I'm ready to be done with this map. This map was kind of cancerous, honestly. So let me just drop Idune back, And then on the enemy phase, Tethys will attack Sothis and fall into hits plus a Seer's activation.
I bestow this blessing.
The final map for today is a high-investment Infantry Pulse team. It's a pretty honest setup, by which I mean that it doesn't really use assist shenanigans. Instead, it uses Alphonse and Thesir to cover large swaths of space, taking advantage of the fact that they're difficult to take down on the player phase to reduce enemies' approach options. The biggest structural weakness is highly situational. The space in front of Soth is unprotected, which enables hit-and-run strategies for teams with a 3-move Galeforcer. Outside of that, the only other big weaknesses are Pulse Smoke or Pulse Tie skills, which will lower the threat level of the enemies significantly. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and send in my Galeforce raiding party for this battle. I'll be doing a hit-and-run style initiation with Tibarn to take down Soth. I'm going to go ahead and start things by breaking the Black Eagle and Blue Lion flag items, so let's go ahead and take care of that. Then I can have... Oh, shoot, you know what? I just realized that I actually can't do this turn 2. I need to have Tethys in range of the healing tower as well. This is to prevent upheaval from kind of screwing my strategy over here. So I'm going to actually need to take one more turn to get this all set up, but I should still be fine. It's just a one turn delay. So let me go ahead and move. Do I need to move Elwood? Nah, just Tethys, I think. Tethys over here, and that is fine. So, now that I am actually ready, I will go ahead and have Naga smite Tibarn up 2 spaces. They'll be able to take down Soth, and then retreat 2 spaces down, 1 space to the left, and then I will refresh him with Tethys. And interestingly enough, Tethys is actually able to tank that Open the Future from Alphonse, so I'm actually going to let her do that instead of repositioning her out.
Leave this to me.
Let me get Naga out of there and put Altina in behind Tibarn. Doesn't really matter, they won't transform since he's next to Tethys anyway. Okay, so Tethys will take the Open the Future, and this does 2 things. 1, it gets rid of his special because he doesn't have Special Spiral, and 2, it gets the -7 defense and res debuffs on him. And that's very important because it will allow Tibarn to actually 2-round KO Alphonse. So let's see here. Thesir, I was actually expecting her to move to the left, although I suppose it's not so much of a surprise that she moved down. In my initial planning phase, I actually had left Naga where she was, and kind of last minute I decided, alright, well I'll just actually have Elwood flip her over to the right. So I suppose it's not really a surprise that she went straight down instead, but oh well. So Elwood should be able to take out Thesir here. Oh yes, perfect. Oh, even if she'd had her Miracle charged, which would require her to not be a bonus unit, that 10 HP kind of messed with this map's Infantry Pulse setup. That would have been a 2 HKO. Speaking of KOs, Tibarn's going to get is it a 3 HKO? I forget, because after this combat, his special is going to be charged up again. So no, actually, this is a 3 HKO. Tibarn's going to be able to deal a 16 to finish the job. And then, in order to avoid getting destroyed by Micaiah, I can refresh Elwood with Tethys and I'll have him take her down. So, let's see now, I just have to figure out how to pick up these Aether structures. Do I want Naga here, or... Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so Sylvia should go straight down towards Tethys, I'm thinking, and she does. And now I can do... Do I want to do Tibarn takes the M4A? Nah, let's go ahead and have Altina take Sanforay, Elwood takes the front. And then I can have Tibarn finish off the map. Whew.
Need something?
And that is it. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Aether Raids Offense. I had a lot of fun fielding Claude as my bonus unit this time around. I may actually consider keeping him on board as the core unit of a new team, though I'm not sure which of my current teams I would drop to accommodate him. I'd also need to figure out what to do with his A passive slot, since Fury doesn't really match up that well against their Seer's killing intent. Anyway, those are musings for another day. Next week we'll be back in light season, and I plan on bringing Brave Edelgard in as my bonus unit, which should prove interesting. Hopefully, I'll see you all again in a week for the next Aether Raids Offense video. So, as always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.